Richard III.
Richard III.
Richard III.
Richard III.
Richard III.
Richard III. Richard III.
Richard III is about this guy who wants to be king really, really badly. And he has some family members that are in front of him before he can be king. So he decides he's going to kill all his family members to become king. And he does. And he becomes king.
The material, Richard III on Jackson Street.
We are setting it in 1930s Seattle's Chinatown, South Jackson, where all of the jazz clubs and the canneries, the fishing and the boating and the project development was happening.
12th Avenue and Jackson was the spot. You know, you could come through 12th Avenue and Jackson and Yesler, you know, at any time.
In the 1930s, we had open racial tension because they were the Chinese and they were the blacks, probably some other minority groups, and then the white folks that lived more, you know, uphill. And these racial tensions were out in the open.
Everybody was fighting with each other. And so that layer added on top with Richard III is another way, again, of telling the story.
A lot of the characters and a lot of the families, a lot of the alliances operate like, you know, they're families, and they'll jump over each other and kill each other off. But at the end of the day, the people that hold the keys to the doors are white America, basically.
So it's interesting having kind of the nostalgia peeled away to show the cruel face of what life was.
When you have people that are disenfranchised and that don't have the rights to say, at the time, like a Caucasian would, they make do with whatever they have. So there's a lot of gaps in society where characters come in and exploit those gaps and fill in those power vacuums. So you have kind of not an underworld, I would say, but things that operate very closely to that.
I think the product we're making is really going to be something amazing. I think that we're one of the most interesting productions of Richard that I've ever heard of. It's a play about old white men being portrayed by people of all different races.
But what's great about, you know, doing Richard III and for it being a diverse cast is that you get to see another take on it. You get to see it from African American perspective. You get to see it from an Asian American perspective.
Seattle, I think a lot of people look at it as a very liberal place, and a place where we didn't really have any issues with race.
I didn't know any of this because I'm from Texas. I literally come here and I see the International District. I'm like, oh, Chinatown. It's been here forever. There's must be, you know, peachy keen roses. And then I get the Texan education system slapped on me. Not internment camps, not racism, not essential segregation through economic means. And I'm like, oh, all right, I guess we aren't as tolerant as I thought we were.
The Hill was a no-no. A lot of people don't know that. Up on top of James Hill and up in First Hill, you know, blacks and Asians and nobody, you couldn't go there. You couldn't go there to live. So, you know, the space that they had was really on Jackson and Yesler and in the Yesler Terrace area.
We are playing more of the people who lived in 1930s Seattle's Chinatown. The type of people that came over, the immigrants that existed then, the types that came and assimilated, and then the types who, like Richard, came and didn't assimilate, an outsider amongst outsiders, and how does that affect everything? And then we layer on the traditional Shakespearean things like the limp and the body, the deformity, the ambition.
I have always adored Shakespeare since I was growing up.
I'm learning so much, I'm getting so much out of it, and I'm just having an absolute blast right now.
Just the experience of being able to work with one of your kids in a production is precious.
I'm Catalina, and I'm 12 years old, and I play Prince Edward.
Working on Shakespeare is always a lot of fun, just because you go from a great experience. When you sit down and you read a play and you're like, I don't know what these words mean, to all of a sudden you're like, grandiose expressions where you twist the English language to mean exactly what you say.
I feel actually the most comfortable saying the Shakespearean language than what I would do in our language.
because Shakespeare language is actually flowing more smoothly.
Yeah, I'm picking it up real smoothly. It's not that hard to say it and all that. Some of the words were difficult, but that's okay.
Shakespeare requires a lot of discipline. You gotta have a lot of discipline. Well, I wasn't a disciplined actor, even though I had the opportunity. I had the opportunity and I turned it down. And I don't regret it right now. But my claim to fame is going to be Richard III playing Edward IV, King Edward IV.
I've seen the standard Shakespearean production. This one is so unique and inventive, and like taking something that's set in Seattle and like making it historical and inventive and interesting. Like, I want people to come away and be like, I want to do that and make something new and unique and bring something completely different to the text that's never been done before.
We are showing something that the city and America claims to stand for, and that's like inclusion, racial diversity, religious diversity, what have you. But really, the play is such a cool reflection of the cultural tapestry that Seattle is, right?
We can't move forward without recognizing what's in our past. You just can't wipe that away. There's no like, it's inbuilt to the system, the systemic racism. And without addressing that, there's no moving forward.
I'm actually hoping people take the political aspect of it as far as what's going on in the world right now and kind of apply that to what we're doing artistically in Shakespeare. This
is going to be a great show. It's going to really be a great show. I saw it. I sit back in the back and I watched it. And Elijah's directing and her blocking and the whole thing. And I think that with the fights and the song and the drama and the Shakespeare itself, it's going to be an experience for a lot of people.